Welcome back to the airlock, folks. I want to mention right away that I know I said that the video after my Gmax one would not be Pokemon related, but how could I refuse such a creative trend? Stone swapping was started on Twitter, which is unfortunately social media that I do not have, so my first exposure to this wild card of an art trend was on YouTube, with Nordist's video. My continued laziness then further pushed back this video, meaning the trend may be completely over by the time this is out. That being said, I'm writing this 2 days after Sterninator posted his video, so it kinda works out. Ignoring my laziness and sluggishness, I am absolutely pumped to be participating in Wasdmon's gimmick, if not my own interpretation of it. Before I even started drawing my own designs, I was watching someone else's video. I don't remember whose, unfortunately, but they said something that stuck with me. To avoid dipping into fusion territory, which I admittedly might have for one of these, you have to take one mega and remove the base form. Take what parts of the mega are new, and take note of what they change in the original Pokemon. Then apply that to a new Pokemon. I took note of this heavily, especially in my second and third designs. The final thing I want to bring up prior to going into my designs is the differences between these pieces and the ones from my last video. My expectations for myself weren't nearly as high for this set of drawings, because I was really using this video as a warm-up to get back into the swing of writing and art. There are no backgrounds for this set, though I wouldn't mind going back and drawing them. This entire video is just helping me hop on a trend and find my footing for content creation again. But enough semantics. The first design is calling to me like the Green Goblin mask. Let's listen to it. This design was one of two from this video that was made of randomly generated Mega Pokemon. As soon as the pair showed up on my screen, an idea entered my goldfish brain. Steelix and Meganium are designs that shouldn't work at all on paper, but fit like peanut butter and jelly when you boil them down. A giant stony worm that gets painfully pierced by crystals is actually fairly easy to transition to a combination of the flower dinosaur. Flowers replacing where the crystals used to be, replacing the pain of being pierced by them to the pain of feeling pulled apart by the expanding roots. The beauty of the flowers contrasts with Steelix's own experiences with their sudden growth. You can definitely tell that I was trying to sand down Mega Steelix's harsh edges, as if the pheromones of the flowers were soothing the behemoth. I think I evoked too much of Mega Steelix when I was drawing this, but it was my first shot. We've all got to experiment every once in a while. For the vines at the very tip of Steelix M's tail, I was absolutely lost. The tangled vines feel like low-hanging fruit. It's literally the exact same shape as normal crystal knife tail. A relatively minor nitpick to an overall fairly strong design. Let me know what you think of Mega Steelix M, a steel and grass type. I'm actually quite proud of this design, especially given that it was more so an experiment than a full exploration of the trend. You can see just how much of Mega Steelix I kept, especially with the floating petals and rotating segments marked with flowers. Overall, not a terrible design, just an interesting one. I'm sure it won't shock any of you to know that I'm a picky guy. That being the case, it took me like 5 rerolls to finally get Steelix and Meganium, and this also led to another 15 rerolls before I finally decided on this next pair. I tried to push myself a little bit further with this design, especially regarding the posing. As mentioned, this is the second randomized stone swap of the video, and also the final one. Without any more fluff and filler, let's gaze at Mega Chesnaught A. The design for this stone swap was significantly less solidified in my head compared to Mega Steelix, as you can tell via my fiddling with the color blocking in the time-lapse. I wanted to shift Chesnaught's personality more towards the rampaging monster that is Mega Abomasnow. The most obvious thing to do for this design was to replace Chesnaught's spikes with the ice pillars introduced in Abomasnow's Mega. At least this kind of low-hanging fruit is delicious. The pose for this bad boy was incredibly important to me. I wanted to invoke the feeling that this gargantuan monster was charging directly at you, intending to claw into you with its muscular claws. Wow, I'm really breaking new ground with this writing. I try my best to invoke the strips of fur that Abomasnow has on his Mega, but I may have gone slightly overboard. I also especially struggled with the back legs, as you can probably tell just from looking at the guy. The shading is unfortunately really basic, even for me, but we all make sacrifices for the sake of stone swapping. Tell me what you think of Mega Chesnaught A, a fighting ice type. I definitely don't hate this Mega. Quite the opposite, in fact, but there's so much that I should have or could have done differently, and I only see it now. Especially in the face area, he's ugly. Very, very ugly. I do think he still succeeds as a stone swap. Maybe a bit too fusion-y, but it depends on how you think of fusions and stone swaps. For the final design of this much shorter video, it is the stone swap I hand selected. While there was much less transference of physical attributes, I'm much prouder of the concept. It also helps that this is better than the actual Mega for me. Oh well, without further ado, Mega Tatsugiri S. To get the elephant out of the bush, I absolutely despise Mega Tatsugiri. It feels lazy and dumb and lame. This stone swap serves both as me hopping on the hype train created by Wasdamon, but also for me to fix this absolutely miserable Mega Evolution. I adore most other Mega Pokemon from the DLC, but come on! The tray is literally just the Mega Evolution Helix. They could have at least made it one of the 3 fish. Whatever. Doesn't even bother me. Doesn't even matter. The reason I initially chose Scovillain was because I wanted to turn the Dragonfish into an almost Hydra-type multi-headed creature. I later realized that this doesn't make sense, as Scovillain doesn't gain any other heads in Mega Evolution. If I wanted a Hydra, I probably should have chosen Meowstic. Regardless, though, I stuck with Scovillain. I thought it would be interesting to introduce the more gangster-esque design of the Scovillanite, turning the triplets from equally important siblings to 2 underlings serving the most powerful entity of the 3. Although it makes little sense that the other 2 siblings would randomly show up on Evolution. That doesn't matter. As you can likely see, the 2 weaker Tatsugiri have gained a fire-like pattern across their notable features, the red one's pattern and the pink one's fin. The reason that Sir Scowl in the middle here lacks it is because he sends his henchmen to do his dirty work, including scorching their collective enemies like a charcoal grill. Without further ado, Mega Tatsugiri S, a fire dragon type. Yay! As you can probably gather, I absolutely adore this design, though it could quite possibly be only because I hate Mega Tatsugiri so much. We'll never know. I'm a big fan of how I managed to turn the rice on the normal design into a pompadour for the ringleader. I'm glad I saved the best for last, as this is it, the end of the video. Much shorter than my last video. Nice and fun and easy. Let me know how I did and what you think of my designs. Did I succeed in following the trend? Thank you so much for watching to the end, if you did that. And if you enjoyed me or my art, please consider liking or subscribing. All the writing, editing, and art is done exclusively by me. Alright, goodbye.